Have you ever been told one man walked into history without an army, without weapons, without even raising his hand in anger, yet managed to shake the mightiest empire of the time? What if I told you that the British Empire, which claimed the sun never set on its colonies, had to pack its bags and leave India because of a frail man wrapped in nothing more than a piece of cloth? This isn't a fairy tale. This is the real story of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, whom the world remembers as Mahatma Gandhi, and his fight for India's freedom. But let me warn you, Gandhi's story is not a simple tale of a saint walking peacefully. It is a spiral of suspense, of defeats and victories, of betrayals and unshakable faith. Stay with me till the end, because this story is going to take you on a journey from the dusty streets of Gujarat to the chambers of British power, and in the end, it will leave you questioning the meaning of real strength. Let's begin. Gandhi was born in 1869 in a small town called Porbandar in Gujarat. As a child, he was shy, quiet, and afraid of everything, even ghosts at night. Nobody, not even his family, could have guessed that this timid boy would grow into the leader who would challenge the British Empire. When he was just 13, he was married to Kasturba, a girl almost his age. Yes, child marriage was common then. Gandhi himself later admitted he was too young to understand marriage. But life was about to throw him into bigger things. At 19, Gandhi left for London to study law. Imagine this, a simple Indian boy in a dhoti trying to fit into London society, eating vegetarian food in a land of meat eaters. He struggled, but he learned. And when he came back to India as a lawyer, he thought he would shine in courts. Instead, he failed miserably. Nervous, tongue-tied, he couldn't even cross-question properly. It seemed his career would end before it began. But fate had other plans. One day, he got an offer to work for an Indian company in South Africa. He grabbed it. He thought it was just another legal job. But the moment he set foot in South Africa, he faced something that would change his life forever. Gandhi, holding a valid first-class ticket, was thrown out of a train at Pietermaritzburg station just because of his skin color. Picture this, a young lawyer shivering in the cold, humiliated, angry, but not violent. That night, sitting at the station, Gandhi asked himself, should I run back home, or should I fight this injustice? He chose to fight. This was the birth of the Gandhi the world would later know. In South Africa, he saw Indians being treated as second-class citizens. They were beaten, their rights snatched away. Gandhi began organizing them not with guns, not with riots, but with unity and courage. He introduced something new, Satyagraha, which means truth force. His idea was simple yet powerful: fight injustice, but without violence. No matter how much they hit you, you don't hit back. You stand firm with truth. For 21 years, Gandhi fought in South Africa, leading protests, going to jail, and showing the world that resistance without violence was possible. And he won. The South African government had to listen to him. By 1915, Gandhi returned to India. And when he came back, he was no longer just Mohandas. He was Mahatma for many. India was boiling under British rule, farmers were dying in poverty. Industries were crushed, and people were losing hope. Leaders were already fighting. But they needed someone who could unite the masses. Gandhi became that man. His first big test came in Champaran, Bihar, in 1917. Farmers there were forced to grow indigo instead of food crops. The British forced them into contracts that left them starving. Gandhi went there, lived among the poor farmers, and began his non-violent protest. The British tried to arrest him, tried to scare him, but Gandhi stood firm. Thousands of farmers stood with him, fearless. In the end, the British had to bow. Gandhi had won his first major battle in India. But it wasn't just Champaran. In Kheda, Gujarat, farmers were hit by famine. They couldn't pay taxes, yet the British demanded money. Gandhi organized people, refused to pay taxes, and made the British retreat in Ahmedabad. Mill workers went on strike under Gandhi's leadership and won better conditions, one by one. Gandhi was showing India that non-violence could defeat power. Then came 1919, the year of heartbreak. The British introduced the Rowlatt Act, which allowed them to jail anyone without trial. Protests broke out, and Gandhi called for satyagraha. But what happened next shook the nation. On April 13, 1919, thousands of men, women, and children gathered in Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar, for a peaceful protest. General Dyer of the British Army blocked the only exit and ordered his soldiers to fire on the unarmed crowd. Bullets rained, hundreds were killed, thousands injured. Jallianwala Bagh turned into a graveyard. Gandhi was shattered. He realized the British had no mercy. And yet, Gandhi didn't pick up a gun. Instead, he launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920. He urged Indians to boycott British schools, courts, clothes, and goods. If Indians stop supporting British rule, their empire will collapse, he said. Millions listened. People burned foreign clothes, students left schools, lawyers left courts. The movement was so strong that the British were shaken to their core. For the first time, they feared losing India. But just when it seemed victory was near, tragedy struck. In 1922, a protest in Chori Chora turned violent. The angry crowd set fire to a police station, killing 22 policemen. Gandhi was heartbroken. Violence had entered his movement. He immediately called off the non-cooperation movement, even though millions were ready to fight. Many leaders criticized him. Why stop now? We were so close, they argued. But Gandhi was firm. For him, nonviolence was not just strategy, it was the soul of the struggle. Gandhi was arrested and jailed, but jail never broke his spirit. In fact, his time in prison only made him stronger. And while he was inside, India was changing. The demand for independence was growing louder. When Gandhi came out, he decided to take the fight to the next level. Then came the Salt March of 1930, one of the most iconic events in history. The British had control over everything Indian, including salt. Indians were forced to buy expensive British salt. They were not allowed to produce their own. Gandhi decided to change the narrative because he knew Indians did not need permission from the British to make salt in their own country. He marched 240 miles on foot from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi seashore, with thousands following him. On April 6, 1930, he bent down, picked up a fistful of salt, and said, "With this salt we break your law." It was a simple act, but it shook the empire. The world media covered it. Suddenly, the frail old man in a loincloth became the face of resistance worldwide. Millions joined, making salt illegally, defying the British. Gandhi was arrested again, but his message was unstoppable. By the 1940s, the demand for independence could no longer be ignored. Then came World War II. The British dragged India into the war without asking Indians. Gandhi responded with the Quit India movement in 1942. His words were clear: do or die. This time, the British reacted brutally. Gandhi and almost all leaders were arrested. Protests turned violent across the country, and thousands died. But the fire of independence was now burning too strong to be extinguished. After the war, Britain was exhausted, their economy was broken, their empire shaken. The pressure of Indian movements, international opinion, and growing unrest forced them to negotiate. Finally, in 1947, India's independence was declared. Gandhi's dream had come true, or had it? Because independence came with partition. India was divided into India and Pakistan, and millions of Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs were forced to leave their homes. Riots broke out. Neighbors turned into enemies. Blood filled the streets. Gandhi, heartbroken, tried to stop the violence. He walked barefoot through riot-torn areas, fasting until people promised peace. But hatred was stronger than his frail body. On January 30, 1948, as he went for his evening prayers in Delhi, a man named Nathuram Godse shot him dead. Gandhi fell with the words, "Hey Ram." The man who fought an empire without weapons was killed by his own countrymen. And yet, Gandhi did not die. His ideas live on. Martin Luther King Jr. used Gandhi's methods in America's civil rights movement. Nelson Mandela used them against apartheid in South Africa. To this day, Gandhi stands as proof that courage without violence is the greatest strength. So, what do we learn from Gandhi's struggle? That true power is not in guns, not in armies, not in wealth. True power is in truth, in courage, in standing up for what's right without fear. Gandhi showed the world that one person, no matter how small, can shake the foundations of injustice. If you felt inspired by this story, don't just keep it to yourself. Like this video, comment your thoughts below. Do you think nonviolence can still work in today's violent world? Share this story with your friends and family, because Gandhi's message is not just history, it's a guide for the future. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories that bring history alive. Because remember, history is not just about the past. It's about the choices we make today.